Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of The MCR. Mac and me, my name is TJ. And in this segment, we'd like to discuss an event last week and our thoughts involving it. I would define it as a horrible story. And it began the Sunday night before 4th of July and kind of played itself out until the Wednesday, July 5th. So the unfortunate family involved pretty much had a pretty messed up 4th of July, we can easily say here.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. But it involved the murder of a little 2-year-old girl. And I would just like to quickly review the timeline of these events and then some thoughts of this whole horrible situation. It involved the life of a little 2-year-old girl by the name of Winter Cole Smith, 2 years old, and it began with a domestic dispute between her mother and her mother's boyfriend, who was not the father of Winter Cole Smith. Okay.
Actually, I think he may have been an ex-boyfriend.
He was an ex-boyfriend. Okay, ex-boyfriend. He was the father of, because there was 2 children kind of involved, we'll say. Winter Smith, who was 2 years old, and then a son of his that was 1 year old. Okay.
So he was a baby daddy.
Yes.
Of another child.
Yes. So it begins Sunday night, July 2nd. And at 11:19, there's a domestic dispute. And the bottom line is he stabs the girl's mother multiple times, and she's able to escape to a nearby house. I assume it was a neighbor, but she was able to escape to make a 911 call for police help. In the process of her doing that, the individual, and what was his name? I want to say Rashid Malik Trice, was able to snatch up the 2-year-old girl, Winter Cole Smith, who was not his daughter, and was basically abducted her. Okay.
Well, let's say allegedly, because this has not been proven.
Well, you know what? They're pretty certain they abducted her. All right.
Well, I have no doubt about it, but it's still alleged.
Okay. At 11:30, they realized the girl was missing, and something Mac and I talked about earlier last week, how at 2 a.m. Monday morning in southeastern Michigan, an Amber Alert was issued, where in the middle of the night, everyone's phones started going off. You know?
Yeah, and it's a screeching sound, scares the hell out of me every time it happens.
Oh, yeah, you think the world's coming to an end. But
well,
so they're looking for the girl, and because they put out an Amber Alert, now there's an all points bulletin, APB on this Rashid guy, okay, and he comes back to the Detroit metropolitan area. Detroit, I say Detroit, but it includes the northeastern suburbs also, okay? And at about 4:45 a.m. Monday morning, he is noticed by St. Clair Shores police. And I got to tell you, hats off to St. Clair Shores police for them being alert to the situation. Because St. Clair Shores, because this started in Lansing, which is the capital of Michigan.
Capital. Right,
kind of, you can think of it as centrally located in the state, and within 4 hours later, or 4 or 5 hours later, on the in the Detroit metropolitan area, a northeastern suburb police department finds the guy, okay, and he attempts to flee St. Clair Shores police, and he crashed into one police car, injuring a police officer, and but they were able to take him into custody in the vicinity of 10 Mile and Little Mac. And I got to tell you, 10 Mile and Little Mac, that's only 10 miles east of where I live. So I was like, wow. When they took him into custody, the 2-year-old girl was not with him. He would not cooperate with the police. They tried to get from him, where's she at? What did you do with her? And he did nothing to cooperate. During the course of Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday, Wednesday at 2:15, Detroit police announced that they had found dead the little 2-year-old girl. And it's very interesting. Mac, did you hear how they found her?
I did not. No.
Okay.
Just that they found her.
And this is something. Take note, everybody. Take note. They took the guy's phone and traced his route and where he stopped. And one of his stops was north of I-94 on Van Dyke. If you're familiar with Detroit, that's not really a very good area. And they found her dead in an alley in Detroit. And they were able to achieve this by reviewing his cell phone. And they came to one of the stops, which involved this area, and they did a grid search of this area. And it took them like 4 to 5 hours to do a grid search, and at which time they found her. And it's a really, really sad story. And there's so many things about this from start to finish that are messed up. And Mac, you made reference to it right at the very beginning. Unwed mother, 2 children with 2 different fathers. Okay, domestic violence, and there's a history of domestic violence. That's probably why it was the ex. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't want to get stabbed, which she eventually got.
The guy had a rap sheet, and just a couple of weeks ago we talked about how the enforcing the broken window policy, and if you enforce the little things, you prevent the big things.
Correct.
Well,
that's the theory. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the theory. And this guy's got a rap sheet. He was no stranger to law enforcement. Okay. He had a history of domestic violence. He had a history of criminal activity outside that also. Okay. And this is the type of dirtbag the Democrats would defend.
Oh, absolutely. They defend him.
And just throw that into the mix and this is where you and I may split hairs on, but as far as I'm concerned, this guy can take a dirt nap.
Well, after all, as you know, I'm not pro death penalty, but I do believe that it is warranted in cases. My problem with it is you can't trust the criminal justice system to do the right thing, and we could sit here for the next 5 hours giving you examples of that.
And you know what? I know there will always be examples of injustice, but I don't think you'd be able to make that case in this particular situation.
Perhaps not. Yep, I wouldn't disagree.
Is there conclusive
as it gets?
Is there conclusive proof that he was the perpetrator in this little girl's death? I suppose you could say technically there isn't.
Well, there may be. There may be. We just don't know what it is yet, and that will come out in a trial that everyone is entitled to.
And you know what? They may be moving forward very carefully on this one too, because of what you just said there. But a lot of my information I got from what do you call it? Click on Detroit, or the Channel 4 News website.
WDIV in Detroit.
Yeah, but like if you go to the website, I think it says Click on Detroit or something. That's right. The name of the website. So virtually all my information came from that website, which I do believe is accurate. But they were showing pictures of this little girl, and oh boy.
Well, she didn't get a life. She didn't get a life because of the culture, the urban culture Democrats have cultivated, and they are so proud of it. It's just this last week I read a story, and this is a little off topic, but I think it makes my point. All kinds of media outlets are going crazy over the fact that this new Jim Caviezel movie is wanting to shut down human trafficking. So I have to ask myself: are these Democrats admitting now that they want human trafficking? They endorse human trafficking? They probably are participating, not probably, I'm sure they are, participating in human trafficking. And you got Elton John saying he's not going to perform in the U.S. anymore because of our anti-human trafficking laws. So what does that tell you about that piece of shit? He ought to be banned from this country. Shouldn't even be his choice.
Well,
we're queer, we're here, and we're coming after your children. They said it, they own it. Elton John and the Democrats endorse it.
Yep. And what I wanted to say was, sometimes the Democrats say, "Oh, you're exaggerating you're exaggerating our position." Well, you know what? The death of a little 2-year-old girl ain't no exaggeration.
No, and she paid the price for their evil.
But she paid the price for some poor decision making.
Well, you're being kind there, but
yeah. And when you look at the pictures of her,
yeah, I know, it's a baby.
Is
innocent, has done nothing to anyone. Certainly nothing to warrant that kind of death.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: he didn't touch the 1-year-old, which was his son. No, he takes the 2-year-old girl as if some kind of warped act of revenge against the woman that, dared to break up with him.
Well, he didn't kill his kid because he's got a modicum of moral relativism.
Yeah.
It would be wrong to kill the boy, but it's okay to kill the girl. That's a Democrat mindset. Moral relativism is the Democrat mindset.
I just, and at the risk of turning this into a sermon, I just want to read John 16:21, or a portion of it. "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these." God cherishes little children, and woe be unto this country, woe be unto us for not protecting the children.
Well, we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah now.
So
we're not participants, but we're living there.
It's just, I'm going to ramble on and turn it into a sermon, so I guess I'll stop.
Robert.
Not that I'm a pastor or anything. It's just, I do have beliefs. But anyways, that's all I got. Just a horrible story. And my fear is no lessons will be learned. That's
more endorsements of such behavior. I don't doubt there are Democrats out there trying to find a way to get this guy off right now.
That would not surprise me, because we need to understand him.
Yeah, I understand him. And if they need somebody to pull that switch, I'd be happy to do it.
Well, I could do it in good conscience.
I could do it and get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, for sure. That's all I got. I just wanted to share some thoughts on this horrible thing here.
Okay.
All right. We're going to call this one a wrap. Thanks, everyone, for your support. Spread the word. And if you disagree with us, leave a comment, And we'll leave it at that. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.